Today I effed up by eating too much garlic. Today I effed up when I saw this video on TikTok about roasting garlic in the oven and spreading it on toast. Being the garlic lover that I am, I gave it a shot using a whole head of garlic. Needless to say, it tasted marvelous. So marvelous, in fact, that I ate the whole head in one sitting at lunch. Fast forward several hours and my boyfriend mentions a garlicky odor coming from me. I didn't think much of it since I assumed he just smelled the leftover fragrances of cooking garlic in the house. More time goes by, and I start emitting more odors, and he asked me how much I ate, so I told him. He then informs me that garlic gets released through your pores as you digest it, and that's why I smell like garlic and would continue to smell like garlic for a while. Welp, feep. By the time we went to bed last night, I smelled so bad that I could taste the garlic in my mouth and there was nothing I could do but hope the smell would go away by morning. I was wrong. I showered and scrubbed to no avail. I'm drinking a ton of water to help flush my system, but I've accepted that this might be my life now. TLDR, I ate too much garlic and now I smell worse than Dracula's pissed off girlfriend. I've done this before. I used to roast garlic heads all the time and, cooked enough, they didn't generate that garlic smell. Well, one day I undercooked a garlic head. I didn't want to waste food, so I ate quite a few cloves. I smelled like garlic for about 4 days. Nothing seemed to help except time to let the garlic pass through my system. The good news is that it'll pass. The bad news is that it might be a few days until you no longer smell like garlic. I used to pickle garlic and put it on salads or just eat a few cloves straight for a snack. My girlfriend/now wife made me stop as we were getting serious. Are you sure your wife isn't part vampire? I mean, she's really pale, but I think that's just her Irish heritage. Oh my gosh, she's part leprechaun as well. A vampire leprechaun? What the hell is going on here? It's called love, you bigot. I'm equal opportunity. I'm thinking about logistics here. It's called a bed, you small it. Shall it? Last time I roasted garlic and spread it on toast, I smelled like garlic for 3 days and my farts were the worst smelling of my life. Totally worth it though. Roasted garlic is so amazingly tasty. I made it for my family one Christmas because they had never had it. They loved it of course but told me not to worry about making it the next year. I wonder why. You will never recover from becoming garlic. You might as well accept it. Here's what I would do. 1. Sit in a tub of warm water for a week with light. Make sure the water is steady warm. 2. Dig a hole in the dirt then transition into the hole. Try to stay hydrated. 3. You should be much larger in a few weeks and can use yourself in things like salad and roasted potatoes. Edito. Thanks for the fame. I do small paragraphs for nominal fees. Don't forget the olive oils for your skin. 1. Cover yourself in oil. Then move to Greece and have intense sex with all the male soldiers. Well, I recommend doing that regardless of whether you're garlic or not, but the garlic does add to the experience. I think you need to write a kinky version of Eat, Pray, Love, Eat, Garlic, Copulate, the official cooking guide/position manual for the adventurous garlic. From the publishers of 50 Shades of Chicken. It is a real cookbook. My daughter got it for me for Christmas one year. It really appealed to our quirky sense of humor. You made garlic bread. Garlic bread is my favorite food. I could honestly eat it for every meal. Or just eat it all the time without even stopping. Garlic bread is good, but you know what's better? Fresh made croutons. It's garlic bread but better. You should absolutely try a Catalan specialty named Pa Ambassador Tomque, or by its en Spanish name Pan Tumica e.g., which combines the best of garlic bread and croutons but adds a rubbed tomato. Take this advice from someone who prepares both garlic bread and croutons from the scratch and loves all three. Undefined. That's how my mom smells all the time. Give in to the garlic. Live the garlic life. My dad likes eating garlic raw. For a long time as a child I thought the garlic smell was his cologne. I had a period where I ate a lot of raw garlic. Had to stop when my skin started to smell of garlic and every Greek person in a mile was attracted to me. I didn't realize periods could make a person eat a ton of garlic. Today I learned. Oh, I meant like a period of time. Sorry, English isn't my native language, so I'm unsure if I misspelled it. No, you're fine. I apologize, I'm just trolling. Your English is great, by the way. Oh, well, I completely missed that. Lol. And thanks. It would be cool if it worked like that though. But my body can hardly tolerate the amount of garlic I eat as it is now. So if I started craving it more, I would become a walking garlic. Eating light amounts of garlic regularly can repel mosquitoes. Eating large amounts will repel people too. Clearly, she repelled herself. A few years ago, right after moving to Florida, I was being ravaged by mosquitoes. I read about the benefits of garlic intake as a natural deterrent. So I got a bunch of garlic pills and added a bunch of garlic to most of my meals. A few days later I went for a walk at lunch, in about 90 degrees. I had a bit of sweat buildup but was very happy to get back into the AC. While sitting in my office, a number of people were walking past asking about who had garlic something for lunch. It wasn't until then I got a whiff of myself and was hit by a sweaty garlic stench. For the next week the smell got worse and worse, even with the slightest perspiration. Being in FL, basically anytime you're outside, you're going to sweat. I basically stunk 24/7. I very quickly cut the pills and limited my intake after that, and it probably took about a week to clear it out my system. The garlic kept the mozzies away, as well as any other human being. Did it repel the bugs? A few years ago I went to one of the more remote Bahamas islands with some students. We were advised to take garlic pills to repel the sand fleas. I didn't because I have a sensitive stomach, but I think everyone got bitten. I have never itched so bad in my life from bites. I was bitten from head to toe. I scratched clean through a pair of yoga pants in the plane. It was so bad. I haven't been back, even though it was paradise in every other way. If the garlic works though, I'd try it. Op isn't disclosing the 2 days of garlic farts that could peel paint from the walls. Source: I ate a whole bulb of garlic once. Only once. Good lord. This. Went to the Stinking Rose, a restaurant that specializes in garlic, and could not stop farting fragrances for 2 days. I made the mistake of going to the Stinking Rose on my birthday, then going to work the next day. I was moving a lot of boxes out of storage, getting nice and sweaty. My coworkers hated me. Normally, a trip to Stinking Rose would involve a group of friends who agreed to only hang out with each other for the next couple of days so as to not make everyone else around us suffer. My bad. Lamau, that thing about your friends is so hilariously wholesome. Except this entire thread is making me wonder how often I've garlicked the people around me non-consensually. Today I learned that garlic is dispersed through your pores as you digest it. Can confirm, my Italian family always smells garlicky. Happens to me every now and then when I eat too much. There is no such thing as too much garlic. What is with everyone in this thread? On the bright side, you are safe from vampires. Should help with the whole 6 feet COVID rule as well. Wait, has garlic bread been the cure for COVID all this time? I'm going to say yes, but mostly to rationalize mass consumption of it. I've completely forgotten the fact that garlic stinks. I've lived alone for years and I use a lot on every meal and basically buy a pack of 3 large heads every week I go shopping. Maybe that's why I've never been in a relationship. Just find someone online so they can't smell you. Hold off on the garlic for a week or so before you meet them. Then only do dates where you cook for them using a load of garlic. If you're both stinky, nobody's stinky. Whatever you do, don't eat a bunch of raw garlic and drink whiskey. My aunt used to have a thing she called the garlic ritual, wherein you would take a clove of garlic and eat it raw, followed by a healthy bite of really good bread dipped in olive oil topped with a really nice piece of hard white cheese. I did this too many times one evening and alcohol was involved. Later, I nearly broke the toilet when my guts literally turned inside out. Never again. Now I'm curious. Wonder what that would be like with garlic stuffed olives instead. Probably a violation of the Geneva Convention on the bathroom. With garlic stuffed olives, you want gin. Extra dirty martini time. Did you roast it long enough? It should have been nice and sweet if you cooked it until it was deeply caramelized, nutty and mushy. I've never had this problem with heavily cooked garlic, only raw and slightly cooked garlic. I dumped a bag of peeled garlic cloves and a bag of Brussels sprouts on a sheet pan and roasted them both with light seasoning and olive oil, and I are an embarrassingly large amount of the cloves and don't smell nearly as much as I did the time I tried to cure a sinus infection with raw honey and raw garlic. My granny hated garlic ever since she was a kid. She once tried to get out of school by eating a few cloves of raw garlic. Don't know why her kid mind thought that would do it, but she said she stank of garlic for days afterwards. Never wanted to eat it ever again. R.I.P. Grandma Elaine. Could you have not roasted the garlic enough? I eat a lot of roasted garlic, precisely because it doesn't do the same thing fresh garlic does. Namely, it doesn't smell the day after. My dad, a wonderful man, loves garlic, but roasted garlic is not a thing where I'm from. He eats it fresh, all year long, but especially in the winter. Because of its germ-repelling properties, I have no idea if there is anything to that claim. The point is, he loves garlic super extra very much, and it isn't unheard of for him to finish a whole head in one sitting. I have learned my lesson as a kid: Never ever enter my parents' bedroom in the morning before it's been aired out after dad ate garlic. I cannot describe how awful the smell is. It is most definitely not the awesome aroma of garlic we all know and love. It's a foul and corrupted version of it. I'm gagging just typing this out. Blech. Roasted garlic, however, is a perfection. Also garlic comfit, and there's this one recipe for creamy garlic chicken where the cloves are used whole and they become so soft and yummy that. God, I'm hungry now. LOL. Oh, this is nothing. I also love garlic and bought a huge Costco bag of already peeled and skinned cloves. I needed to use more of them and my sister-in-law suggested garlic soup. Turns out that my IBS is triggered by garlic, so not only did I have exactly what you described of garlic just seeping out of my pores, but also had the literal worst smelling farts and most painful stomach cramps of my life. I will never buy the Costco-sized bag again, and also just afraid of too much garlic in general now. I feel like the inconvenience of peeling it is nature's way of imposing self-limiting on garlic intake. Before going to work one day in secure mental health unit, I had garlic and herb tagliatelle, tomato and garlic sauce and garlic bread. Nobody on my ward said a thing. I responded to an incident on another ward and it was peep in hell. We'll hold 'em down, you breathe on 'em. I see no TIFU here. Yummy garlic bread. Parsley helps loads. Care to elaborate? Eating parsley helps with garlic breath. Seems to help neutralize it. Buy some garlic bulb-looking earrings. If anyone asks, it's the source of the smell. My husband once decided to drink the water in the minced garlic container after it was empty, because he's a bit of a nut. He wasn't allowed near me for 3 days, lol. It was bad. Good story. Lesson learned. A while back I took this lovely girl on a third date. We went skating and played a bit of hockey. Every now and then I would get a whiff of something unsavory. Kept cocking it up to maybe a sewage line or some garbage or something nearby. End of the date comes and I go in for the kiss. And by God, it hit me. I must have recoiled because she was definitely embarrassed. She explained that she was eating garlic cloves to stay healthy. Before a date, we laughed about it, but the kissing was done for the night. Long story short, she is my wife now and doesn't do that anymore. Try eating a few cans of crushed tomatoes and some onions and maybe you'll smell like marinara sauce instead. I imagine that is more appealing. Maybe eat some basil too? There's no such thing as too much garlic. I wonder if this happens with turmeric too, because my pits smell like curry all the time. Yes, it absolutely does. I went to one of those crazy religious boarding schools in a hot spot for mosquitoes when the West Nile virus was a thing. All the girls had to start eating garlic capsules to repel the mosquitoes. Then the boys complained that the girls smelled during meals. Meals were the only time we were allowed in the same room, albeit social distanced on other ends of the dining hall with about 20 feet between us. Suffice to say, the boys smelling us for 3 hours a day outweighed reducing our risk of West Nile. Undefined. Why didn't the boys have to eat it? Maybe the mosquitoes were a ruse, and the real goal was to ensure that the genders stay separate. Thieping Wario in real life Lamau. This actually brings back a painful memory for me. I love garlic, always have, but until I was in my early 30s I satisfied my craving by sprinkling garlic powder onto my food prior to cooking. When I got married, my husband, who is a saint in many ways, including not minding my garlic fetish and resulting stench, found out that Costco had huge jars of peeled garlic cloves for sale. He bought me one and I happily munched on the cloves as an accompaniment to certain meals: pork steaks, pasta. I brush my teeth and shower regularly, but I wasn't aware that the garlic aroma was seeping out of my pores. I was alerted to that fact one Friday at work when my supervisor called me into her office at 5 p.m. and first asked, "Do you keep garbage in your desk?" Huh? No, of course not. Well, Cindy complained to Zach, the owner of the company, that you, well, have an odor and that it's unbearable. Oh my. I was so humiliated I could barely contain my tears as I left, and, to her credit, the supervisor did apologize to me on Monday and said that she'd worried about me all weekend because I'd seemed so upset. I bought a big bundle of raw parsley at the supermarket and ate most of it by Monday, because I'd read that parsley is supposed to neutralize garlic aroma.